In the north, you face several geographical challenges. One is distance. So every time the government has cut a job, a public service, a worker that goes with that public service in a community in the north, somebody has to travel a lot farther or they simply don't get it in.
Currently in North Bay, we have just lost the Arkland plant. We've had layoffs at the university. We have layoffs at the hospital. We have layoffs proposed at the college. I mean, our community can only withstand so much of these hits to our economy. And I think it's important that we stand up for middle-class jobs right here in North Bay.
In terms of the lifestyle and safety issues, there's no better example or no worse example than what's happened to highway maintenance in the north, and especially winter highway maintenance. I mean, it's no accident that every one of those private companies last year was fined for failure to provide services.
I remember growing up as a kid, we would constantly go to Thunder Bay because it was the closest city to where we lived. And even in the heart of winter, the MTO was keeping the roads clean. Now I'm much farther south in Ontario, and it seems like Transfield is constantly getting investigated for failing to meet the contracts and failing to meet the service standards that they agreed to when they took on this contract. And a big part of it is because, at least in my opinion, they took this contract and they had to bid low to get the contract, which means now they are trying to provide this service while still, at the end of the day, making a profit, because that's what Transfield is. It's a company. They're to make a dollar, not to provide a service.
We have here at 201st over 200 IT workers or IT affected workers. We probably have about 400 people working in the building itself. It would be hard to imagine any one of those workers not being affected by the loss of IT jobs that is currently being threatened with the language proposed in the new collective agreement.
Basically, I find that if they're going to privatize IT, they're going to have problems where we already deal with some privatized IT, and the base service that the government gets is not what we provide. So anytime you want anything extra or outside the scope, it takes weeks to process. It also is an extra billing, and that's why it takes longer. And then the users just suffer, so you can't continue on your work.
The rate of loss of public sector jobs in the north is accelerating. So IT is a very serious loss. It's just the tip of the iceberg. There's more to come as they pursue alternative service delivery. So yes, I go all through the north. I see the job losses. I see the hurt in communities. But I also see where people, real live living human beings who relied on those services, be they health care, social services, relying on IT, come into a building, hope the kiosk works. That hurts as well. So it's just, I don't know how the Premier of Ontario can say we care about the North when it's very clear the evidence shows they don't.
When we ask Liberal MPPs in the North to comment on the Auditor General's report of that P3s are costing $8.2 billion, we don't get any comment about this. It's an astonishing thing.
That $8.2 billion would build a road into the Ring of Fire 4 times over. So just think of what $8 billion could do for people directly in their lives.
Our ability to absorb these types of job losses at this point is almost nil. I think it'd be a real disaster for our community. I can say that as a father and a husband and a family person here in the community, I want to think that my children and grandchildren can find opportunity here in North Bay. If these jobs keep disappearing, these good civil servant middle-class jobs, then those chances are completely eroded, and that's an awful thing.